Here's the table.
No, you got all kinds of stuff.
I got it. For me, it's still kind of awkward to meet up with Karen, but we're also meeting up with each other for a cause.
We'll get the bug out. Then we could have a 2 check-in booth, maybe a table there and a table there.
Not that everything that was going on, Matt and I's situation, that still doesn't have an impact on me, because he'll always impact me till the day I die.
Little People Big World star Audrey Roloff and Jeremy Roloff's predictions for baby names. We haven't indulged in this guessing game since discovering that baby number 4 will be a girl. So let's speculate as the due date approaches. I could envision Dahlia, a suggestion echoed by others due to her mom's affinity for flowers. Perhaps Ivy, reminiscent of a fancy dinner at the Ivy, where Jur and Oj dined upon first arriving in Leh, if memory serves. Alternatively, they might opt for something nature-inspired like fern, flora, juniper, lichen, cypress, or maple, though they might be reserving tree-themed names for feline companions. Or perhaps they'll choose a tomboyish name for their daughter, such as Blake, Skylar, Wren, Drew, or Ashton. Considering their fondness for a restaurant called McMenamins, I wouldn't be surprised if they concocted a nickname like McMenny or Menamina, or something equally quirky. I'm eager to hear both your sincere and humorous guesses. After Radley, I'm at a loss, but I anticipate something they deem intentional and boldly unconventional, perhaps laden with symbolic significance. Selah seems fitting, meaning pause and reflect from the Bible, in line with their style. But knowing them, Zipporah could also be in contention. Their choices often defy logic. All of Audrey's children bear names linked to her in some manner. Ember, an obvious nod to her expectation of a fiery-haired mini-me. Radley, signifying Red Meadow, again, a homage to her hair obsession. Bodhi, a nod to her maiden name, if I recall correctly. I suspect she still harbors hope for a red-haired daughter, hence my guesses all revolve around fiery hues. Auburn, Rouge, Phoenix, Poppy, Rowan, Rory, Keegan, Sienna. Names like Ruby and Scarlet probably don't align with their taste. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Red Bee. It's me, Elena. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So let's dive into today's video. Additionally, as I watched the episode of Little People Big World chronicling Zach and Tori Roloff's relocation to their new home, several eyebrow-raising moments unfolded. Here are a few examples. Neither of them had adequately prepared for the movers, leaving most of the work until the last minute. On the day of the move, they were still scrambling to pack up. Zach spent the time complaining about the abundance of belongings they had. Translation: packing was an overwhelming task due to the sheer volume of their possessions. Zach Roloff allowed their dog to roam freely, hindering the movers' progress. When it was pointed out that having a large dog around while they worked wasn't standard practice, Zach merely smirked and did nothing to address the situation. Instead of staying to assist with the move, Tori opted to take Jackson on a field trip and returned later with Starbucks, expressing disappointment at the lack of progress. Their reluctance to visit the farm with their children was palpable. While the farm situation may have soured due to issues with Matt, they seemed to overlook the value of their kids spending time with their grandfather. Their resentment led them to boycott the farm, which seemed excessive. Overall, the episode was filled with moments that elicited eye rolls due to Zach and Tori's behavior. On another note, I'm currently assisting a friend's family with their move, and they were completely unprepared. We had to make multiple runs for boxes, bring cleaning supplies, and handle tasks that should have been taken care of beforehand. While I understand their financial constraints, I've moved on a tight budget before and was much better prepared for assistance. Their deadline to vacate their old place is looming, yet a text just came in stating that the wife is sick and the husband, who took on an extra job, has to work today, halting all moving progress. To add to their challenges, their old place is 3 hours away from their new home, and they can't afford a U-Haul truck. Regarding their dog, their negligence as pet owners was evident. I recall a previous episode where they brought their dog to visit Audrey and Jeremy, and when it behaved destructively and disruptively, they shirked all responsibility, despite visiting a home where dogs weren't the norm. Moreover, upon rewatching earlier episodes of Little People, Big World, it became evident that Amy Roloff often treated Matt Roloff poorly. While I don't excuse any mistreatment from Matt, some of Amy's behavior left me shaking my head. Amy Roloff frequently asserted dominance over household matters, excluding Matt and even belittling him in front of their children, referring to him as worthless on one occasion. She consistently undermined his efforts and made snide remarks whenever he attempted kindness. The state of the house was often chaotic, yet when Matt tried to enlist help, Amy resisted. Even during remodeling projects, she would blame Matt for the kids' messes or trivialize their destructive behavior. She seemed indifferent when significant damage occurred, like when a coffee table was burned with a lighter. Amy's resentment towards Matt extended to farm projects, despite their role in generating content for the show. She also selected activities on vacations that excluded him, then complained about his inability to participate. In a particularly cruel instance, during a bee incident, she ran towards Matt with the bees despite knowing he couldn't escape easily. From the outset, it was apparent that Amy and Matt had numerous unresolved issues and lacked effective communication. Their differing approaches to life bred resentment. They were fundamentally incompatible, irrespective of Amy's disorganization or Matt's absence and alcohol use. The introduction of Karen merely highlighted the existing problems. As I progress through the seasons, I've noticed a shift in Matt's behavior. Initially performing for the cameras, his true colors began to emerge, particularly from seasons 8 to 12. Some of his actions and statements were appalling, revealing a darker side to his personality. While I don't absolve Amy of her faults, it's clear that Matt is not the affable character he initially portrayed. However, was Little People, Big World star Jeremy Roloff a lazy student, or was he not provided the support needed to succeed? Upon reviewing previous seasons, it appears Jeremy Roloff exhibited signs of ADHD. He struggled with initiating tasks, maintaining focus, and completing assignments. In classroom scenes, he frequently spoke out of turn, had difficulty paying attention, and often doodled in his notebook. The chaotic household environment likely exacerbated these challenges, especially with the pressure of balancing school, sports, social life, farm work, and adult responsibilities. As the oldest sibling, Jeremy may have been burdened with additional tasks. Despite his academic struggles, he demonstrated street smarts and excelled when genuinely interested in a subject, such as passing his driving test on the first try. While I'm not a licensed professional and can't diagnose ADHD, it's possible Jeremy's symptoms went untreated. It doesn't seem Amy or Matt provided adequate support for his academics, time management, or organizational skills. The only intervention mentioned was SAT prep, but by then, his grades had already suffered. Regarding his academic performance, there seems to be conflicting portrayals. One moment, Jeremy is failing, and the next, Amy presents him as valedictorian, which seems improbable. Regardless, it's evident that he struggled academically and may have been disinterested in studying. However, some suggest Jeremy's behavior was deliberate, perhaps exaggerated for the cameras. He appeared more focused on socializing and farm activities than academics. Others criticize his arrogance and lack of accountability, attributing it to being raised as the family's golden boy. It's possible that Matt and Amy, overwhelmed by various challenges, including financial struggles and marriage issues, were unable to provide adequate support to Jeremy and his twin brother. The lack of intervention from the school and the boys' unchecked behavior compounded the situation. Despite their eventual financial stability, there seemed to be little concern about their long-term prospects after graduation. On the other hand, Perhaps installing a pocket door or barn door to conceal the butler's pantry when guests visit could be a practical solution. I find it puzzling. Is that area intended to be a walk-through space? Typically, a butler's pantry serves the purpose of storing appliances, utensils, and food items conveniently accessible yet out of sight, particularly from children. The design choice seems unconventional. In their early podcast episodes, notably Episode 3, released on November 15, 2018, they express a philosophical aversion to interior doors within the house. They recount their experience with the kitchen in their previous home, where closing both doors left them feeling enclosed in a box with only a window, which they found peculiar. This perspective appears to eschew the concept of rooms, reminiscent of listening to beings unfamiliar with Earth's architectural norms. Therefore, it's unlikely they'll opt for interior doors aside from those necessary for privacy in bathrooms and bedrooms. Isn't one of the purposes of a butler's pantry to conceal appliances and other items, reducing visual clutter? It seems counterintuitive that they've designed an open butler's pantry positioned prominently at the front of their home. Additionally, it's been mentioned before, but it's worth noting how notably miserable Little People Big World star Amy Roloff and Matt Roloff appear throughout Season 8. While signs of strain were evident in preceding seasons and lingered afterward, Season 8 marked a particularly dark period that never seemed to dissipate. Their on-screen presence practically radiated tension, showcasing a palpable divide between them. It was genuinely saddening to witness, regardless of the appropriateness of their eventual split, and one couldn't help but feel for the children caught in the midst of their discord. It's around this time that Matt began growing closer to Karen. However, I just watched Season 12, Episode 2 of Little People Big World, Rocky's final appearance, and I'm puzzled by the lack of emotion from the family over their beloved dog's passing. Despite many years with Rocky, none of them shed a tear, with Jeremy being the only one showing any hint of emotion. It's baffling that they didn't rush to comfort each other or the dog. Amy, typically empathetic, merely expressed a brief acknowledgement of Rocky's passing. Their collective lack of emotional response left me stunned. I sincerely hope they didn't stage Rocky's passing for the scene, placing his body on the lawn for filming. Even if they managed to compose themselves for the cameras, it's disconcerting that no genuine emotion was displayed, especially considering how deeply affected I was, having recently lost my own pet. Their prior discussions about Rocky's declining health in the previous season hinted at their preparedness for his eventual passing. However, the family's nonchalant demeanor towards Rocky's death still strikes me as odd. It's as if they lack a deep emotional attachment to their pets, which is disheartening. In a previous season, Matt's suggestion that Jeremy should be the one to euthanize Rocky was particularly peculiar and unsettling. Asking your child to bear such a burden is troubling and raises questions about their emotional dynamics as a family. Additionally, in Molly's Sweet 16 episode, her lack of visible emotion, despite her statement about the family's emotional reserve, suggests a deficiency in emotional intelligence. It's concerning that they seem unable to express or process their feelings openly. Moreover, in reflecting on Season 11, Episode 8 of my epic series rewatch, Amy Roloff's introspection sheds light on the rapid pace at which she and Matt embarked on their relationship. While there may have been initial allure and perhaps a sense of settling, it's disheartening to consider that Amy might harbor unspoken regrets about the speed at which their relationship progressed. Despite the blessings of motherhood, it's evident that the life she envisioned with Matt has fallen short of her expectations. Their shared experience as parents of little people may bind them, but beyond that, their incompatibilities loom large, leaving Amy to contend with a sense of disillusionment. The realization that their marriage may have been primarily motivated by their shared stature as little people is indeed sobering. In a society that once placed significant emphasis on such distinctions, their union may have felt like the only viable option. Their contrasting personalities underscore this point, highlighting the improbability of their relationship had it not been for their shared physical characteristics. It's telling that Matt's insistence on Zach finding a partner within the Little People community reflects a perceived necessity rather than a genuine desire for companionship. The pressure exerted on Zach contrasts sharply with the lack of concern shown toward Jeremy, indicating a societal expectation that little people should marry within their own community. Fortunately, Zach's steadfastness in asserting his autonomy spared him from succumbing to such pressures, allowing him to pursue a relationship based on mutual love and respect. As Amy Roloff grapples with the shifting dynamics of her identity amid her children's departure for college, Matt's unchanged focus on his farm projects underscores a disconnect in their priorities. While Amy confronts the loss of her long-standing identity, Matt's apparent lack of understanding compounds her sense of loss, evoking empathy for her plight. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.